Yeah,
no, we have to run that, yeah, you do have to. There's a certain thing. It's about 4 lines long about being responsible Canadian citizens.
Anyway, good morning everyone and welcome. Bienvenue à tous. I'm honored today and I'm very pleased, of course, to be here at this special ceremony of Canadian citizenship and to welcome all of you. When Catherine said something about 5,000 people, I thought I was having a problem counting here today. But anyway, you're all welcome, of course, and we're delighted to see you.
Did you get it? Okay. Ah, now I have it. Yes.
Ibu Bakir Ugur and Susanna Gabriela Uvedo Arielda. Next I have the Kidway family, and I have Bakhtiar Jalil, Hina, Mashal, and Muhammad Ahmed. And Omar Ahmed.
Congratulations, sir. Words, and quite frankly, I think those that have been at these ceremonies with me before know that normally I just tear the script away, okay? Because these are just words that, although they're meaningful, don't express to the greatest of details how I feel about being Canadian. I too, at one point, having been born in another country, stood before a judge with my family and became a Canadian citizen. And I suggest to you that it was one of the proudest days of my young life. The last time I was here, I told the audience, or at one of these ceremonies, I told the audience that the night before, I actually rooted around the safety deposit box and I found my Canadian citizenship. Now, this meant so much to me as a young boy that, as you can see the corners, they're tethered, they're worn, because I hung this with pride on my bedroom wall wherever we moved. So it is in fact an emotional thing to become a Canadian citizen. Now the only thing is, as life goes on, what I didn't realize is that one day I'd look back and see that at the time I was 4'7" and blonde hair. So life does change and move on. But folks, from the bottom of my heart, accept the pride and the joy that you have today, carry it with you into your communities, and recognize that this is a wonderful, wonderful country. Remember your heritage, remember your roots, remember who you are, celebrate them, but become part of the Canadian family. Congratulations again, and thank you for the opportunity of being here. Thank you.
I did it for 4 years one time back in the 90s, and somebody was kind enough to point out to me that during the 4 years that I did the job, I had the pleasure of passing out certificates to something like 4,600 new Canadians. So I can actually brag that I'm helping to populate the country. Anyway, a very sincere congratulations to all of you, And I know that I want there's somebody here from Scotland who has become a Canadian citizen today. I was thinking today of some of the English, Irish, Scottish people who have mottos and heraldic sort of accoutrements to their name. And there are all kinds of them. Now, one that I always used to wonder about went to the Clan McPherson. Touch not a cat without a glove. Well, where would that come from? What were they afraid of? Back in those good old days. Anyway, but the one that I liked, and I read a lot of them, the one that I really liked was make a mark, make a difference. And I don't think you could do better than that. So congratulations once again, and thank you all for being here today.
I would now like to invite Clary Croft to come forward and introduce himself and to sing the national anthem.
Thank you. I'm wearing a lapel mic, so can you hear me? Probably if I wasn't wearing a lapel mic, you could still hear me. Don Tremaine and I are of the old days of CBC, and in those days you had to speak forcefully and enunciate and look pretty. He still looks pretty, and I've got a great face for radio. We're homeward bound to Halifax town. Goodbye, fare you well. Goodbye, fare you well. We're homeward bound to Halifax town. Hooray, my boys, we're homeward bound. That song and longer versions of it was one that used to be sung by sailors when they were away on a long voyage and they were coming back. Now, if you were living in Liverpool, if you were living in Shelburne, if you were living in Canso, you just substituted the name. But what it meant is that people were coming home. And it talks about our seafaring heritage here in the Maritimes, especially in Nova Scotia, our great shipbuilding heritage. And as you have seen and have been alluded to already, there's a lot coming back to Halifax. So it's very exciting for us here, and I know you're going to be a part of that excitement. But that song that I sang for you was one of approximately 16,000 songs that were collected by a woman who was born in Dartmouth. Her name was Helen Creighton, Dr. Helen Creighton. And in 1928, she started going around Nova Scotia and collecting the songs, the stories, the beliefs, the customs, the superstitions. She noted down what kinds of clothing people were wearing. So what she was a cultural historian. And she collected this material, she saved it. Before she died in 1989, she donated it to the nation. It's now housed at the Nova Scotia Archives and Records Management on University Avenue for the entire world to see and hear. And it's those songs and stories that were brought here from other lands that Cecilia, Cecilia, ha ha. Alors, je chante en français pour toi. She asked me if I was going to sing in French. I said I would. That's a little French Acadian song that was brought here from the northern part of France. English, German, and Portuguese. A great mixture. And my German ancestors arrived in Halifax in 1750, and then they eventually went down to found the town of Lunenburg. And when Helen Creighton was collecting songs in Lunenburg County, she specifically tried to find songs in the Old German. And here's a little song that they used to sing down there, and it's very appropriate for today. I'm going to sing it for you in German, and then I'm going to sing the English translation. Es regnet der Kuckuck für Nass, bunt werden die Blumen und grün wird das Gras. Mir Regen bringt Segen her uns aus dem Haus, stieg schnell in die Kutsche, wir fahren hinaus. Es regnet der Kuckuck wird nass, bunt werden die Blumen und grün wird das Gras. And this is what it means. it's raining, the cuckoo is out, the grass it is green and the flowers are out. May rain bring you blessings, come into the house, quack into the carriage, we're all riding out. It's raining, the cuckoo is out, the grass it is green and the flowers are out. In the 1930s or 40s, the Governor General of Canada was visiting the island of Cape Breton, and of course they assigned him a driver and a limousine. And of course, being the Governor General of Canada, he had to have a bilingual driver. So they offered him a bilingual driver. According to the story, the Governor General gets in the back of the car, immediately begins to speak French to the driver. The driver says, "I'm sorry, sir, I don't understand you." The Governor General says, "But I thought we asked for a bilingual driver." "You did, sir. You're in Cape Breton, you've got English and Gaelic."